You're tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep cures, but the quiet exhaustion that follows you even into your dreams. It's in your bones, your breath, your prayers. You've tried to ignore it, to smother it with routine, with achievement, with distractions dressed as solutions. But it keeps returning. The ache, the hunger, the pull towards something more. And tonight, of all nights, you wonder if you're losing something essential in the fight to keep yourself together. What if the very thing you're running from is sacred? There's a silence in the room now, soft but weighty, like something ancient is listening. You shift slightly, barely perceptible, but your body knows, it always knows, that you're on the edge of a threshold, a place you didn't plan to find, but here you are, held in tension between who you've been and who you're afraid to become. The struggle has been so long, hasn't it? Sometimes it takes the shape of desire, coiling, consuming, uncontrollable. Other times it's fear, a grief, a guilt, or the hollow nothing that creeps in when you thought you'd finally made peace. But what if I told you this isn't evidence of your failure? What if I whispered that it's the opposite? That the pain is not punishment, but invitation. You don't need to believe it yet. Just sit with me. Let it unfold. There was a time when you could name every part of yourself with certainty. You were this, you wanted that, you believed in this. But now, things blur. Edges soften, labels fall away, and it feels like death. But maybe it's birth. You're not falling apart, you're shedding. The skin of the old you, it doesn't fit anymore. The narrative you were given, the goals you were taught to chase, the roles you were expected to play, they're thinning, transparent in the light of your own soul's need to breathe. This is why it hurts. Not because you're broken, but because you're growing beyond the shell that once kept you safe. You remember moments, don't you? Moments that cracked you open. Someone left. A dream collapsed. A prayer returned unanswered, or worse, answered in silence. You begged for clarity, but got mystery. You asked for peace, but received longing. And yet somewhere inside, you kept moving. Even now, even here. You're listening to these words because some part of you is still reaching. Still trusting that there's something worth leaning into, some hidden ember of hope flickering beneath the ash of what used to be. And I want to tell you something you may have never heard out loud. Your struggle is sacred. Not because it's glamorous or noble, but because it's honest, it's real, and it's carving out room in you. Room for truth, room for depth, room for the kind of transformation that doesn't come in the light of certainty, but in the shadows of unknowing. It's not proof that you've failed. It's proof that you've dared to be human. You see, the path to the sacred is rarely paved with comfort. It often begins with disorientation. You're not off course. You're just further in than you realized. Maybe you're not meant to go back to who you were. Maybe that version of you was always meant to be temporary. And the ache you feel, the one that won't go away, it's not a flaw to be fixed. It's a compass, a holy ache pointing you deeper. You don't need to fix yourself tonight. You don't need to make sense of it all. Just breathe. Feel the pulse of life still beating in your chest. the quiet thrum of being. You're not alone here. The fire that refines you is the same fire that comforts. The same force that breaks you open is the one that builds you again, wiser, softer, stronger. So let yourself feel it. Not all of it, maybe. Just a thread. Just enough to remember you are not your confusion. You are not your shame. You are not your failure to heal quickly enough. You are the one willing to stay, willing to listen, willing to grow, even if you can't see what's coming next. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough for tonight.
There is a part of you that still wants to escape. You can feel it, can't you? The instinct to tighten, to turn away, to find something, anything that will quiet the ache without requiring you to face it. We've all done it. Some of us run into busyness, others into perfectionism, or performance, or people who make us feel less alone but not more ourselves. We build whole worlds around avoiding what hurts, hoping distraction will pass for healing. But pain ignored does not vanish. It burrows. And one day, it speaks. Maybe that day is today. Because here you are again, suspended in that sacred pause between surrender and resistance. You're tired of carrying the weight, but you're also afraid to lay it down. Who will you be without it? What will be left when the fight stops? You've come to believe that struggle is your identity, but it's not. It's the soil, not the seed. What's being formed inside of you isn't weakness, it's clarity. Quiet clarity. The kind that doesn't shout, but hums like a distant melody you almost remember. And maybe you're starting to hear it now. There's a gentleness rising through your tiredness, isn't there? You're not as numb as you feared. In fact, your tenderness is a sign of your aliveness. So let this moment be soft. You don't need to strive, not here, not now. If any of these words have stirred something in you, something you hadn't let yourself name until tonight, I hope you'll stay with me. I'm not here to preach. I'm here to hold space, to whisper reminders in the dark when your own voice falters. And if even a small part of you wants to keep walking this path with me, come closer. You're welcome here. Maybe you'll choose to follow this journey a little further. Maybe you already have. And maybe that's no accident. Because the story you're living isn't over. You see, every sacred story has a wilderness, the in-between, that strange holy middle place where you're not who you were, but not yet who you're becoming. It's lonely there sometimes, but it's never empty. The silence is full of things you're just beginning to hear. Look at what you've survived to get here. You've lost and still loved. You've fallen and still risen. You've questioned everything and still longed for meaning. That longing, that relentless yearning inside you isn't weakness, it's guidance. A flame, not a flaw. The very fact that you ache for more is a sign that more exists, not in the way the world sells it, not in achievements, not in applause, but in alignment, in integration, in the fierce, quiet wholeness of being who you truly are. You can almost feel it, can't you? The parts of yourself pulling toward union, not perfection, but peace.
Not escape, but embodiment. Not control, but trust. This is not easy work. It will cost you your illusions, your numbing, your masks, but it will give you something in return. It will give you your name. Not the one others speak, but the one that rises inside of you when everything else goes quiet. That name is not shame. It is not failure. It is not too much or not enough. It is beloved. It is becoming. You are becoming. And this struggle you hate so much, it's not the enemy. It's the firelight through which you'll finally see who you really are. So breathe again, slowly now. Let your shoulders drop, let your jaw unclench. Let your heart for just a moment rest from bracing itself. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not lost. You're becoming fluent in a language your soul always knew but forgot how to speak. And the struggle? It's the remembering.
It's quiet now. Not the kind of quiet that feels empty, but the kind that feels full. Like the earth just after rain. You're still here, and that means something. You didn't run. You didn't numb. You stayed with yourself when it would have been easier to turn away. And maybe, for the first time in a long time, you're not fighting the silence. You're listening to it. And it's speaking. Not in words, but in weight. The good kind of weight, like a blanket, like presence. You may not understand what's changing yet. That's okay. Sacred things rarely announce themselves with clarity. They come like sleep, slowly, then all at once. And something is softening in you now. Not because you forced it, but because you made space. This is how healing begins, not with a breakthrough, but with a breath. One small, honest moment of being with what is. You don't have to become someone new. You only have to stop pretending you're not already enough. Can you feel that truth settling in your chest? That small exhale from somewhere deep? That's your soul remembering its own name. You've carried so much for so long, but maybe just for tonight, you can lay it down. Not forever, just for now. Let your mind drift without solving. Let your body soften without proving. Let your heart be held, not judged. This moment is not asking you to transform. It's asking you to rest. The sacred work continues tomorrow. But tonight, you're allowed to be nothing but breath and being. Stillness is not failure. It's alignment. A remembering of the truth you keep forgetting, that you are already held, already known, already enough. And maybe, in the quiet, you can begin to imagine something else too. A life not ruled by struggle, but shaped by it. Not defined by pain, but deepened by it. Not hardened by fear, but opened by love. Because if your struggle is sacred, then so are you. And your becoming is not some distant destination. It's happening now, in this breath, this heartbeat, this letting go. So let it all fall away. The pressure, the proving, the questions with no answers. And just sleep, beloved. Sleep knowing that nothing essential can be taken from you. That you are more than what you've lost. More than what you fear. More than what the world failed to give you. You are the kind of soul that chooses to stay. And that is holy. The story isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. Because next time, we'll go deeper, beyond the ache, into the fire, and ask the question most people spend their whole lives avoiding. What if the thing you desire most is the very thing you were taught to fear? But for now, let the question wait. Close your eyes. You've done enough. You are enough. Sleep well, friend.